this particular bill does something about it.
A state senator intends to refile a hospital security bill sparked by our reporting next legislative session. His promise comes despite intense industry lobbying against the safety measure.
KXAN investigator Matt Grant takes a closer look.
Following this deadly crash inside St. David's North Austin Medical Center, the Bernard family had one goal.
Then no one else will have to suffer like we do.
That plea led to a more than year-long investigation looking into crashes and finding solutions to prevent them. After surveying dozens of hospitals and watching bollard crash tests at Texas A&M's Transportation Institute and learning about the strength of these security barriers, we were asked to share our findings with lawmakers as they considered Senate Bill 660 to require bollards at hospitals statewide.
Without a uniform statewide approach, we found a patchwork system where some hospitals are protected while others remain vulnerable.
Using data from the nonprofit Storefront Safety Council, TxDOT, police, and media reports, we built our own nationwide database of crashes over the past decade at places patients receive care, according to the state's definition of healthcare providers, including doctors, nurses, dentists, and pharmacists, among others. The result? By the start of the session, we'd identified more than 400 crashes since 2014, including more than 100 in Texas. Months later, as we continued to track and collect data, the list of crashes into or at medical-related sites had expanded to more than 580, the majority caused by drivers who were either hurt, intoxicated like at St. David's, or had pressed the wrong foot pedal. Nearly 160 of the crashes were at hospitals, almost half of those impacting the ER entrance area. In all, we identified at least 24 deaths and hundreds of injuries.
Singling out hospital emergency rooms to install bollards would not prevent, based on the statistics we're aware of, the overwhelming majority of these types of accidents because they simply don't occur in hospitals.
The Texas Hospital Association testified against SB 660. Behind the scenes, sources tell us the industry group also lobbied aggressively against the proposal. It passed the Senate, but an amended version stalled in a House committee. In a memo we obtained, the THA criticized us for using other medical centers in our data, not just hospitals, and citing cost, called the Bollard bill an unfunded mandate without evidence-based support.
I would question that. I mean, what is the cost of life safety?
Thomas Eustache is with the McHugh Corporation, the same bollard-making company that allowed us to watch its crash tests last year. He says the cost is usually between $10,000 and $30,000 to secure an ER entrance.
It's really not a difficult or costly fix to the problem. So I'm surprised that there was so much pushback.
Still, the bill's author, Senator Royce West, tells us he plans to refile his bill next year, saying, "I am disappointed, especially after we took so many suggestions from stakeholders on modifying common sense public safety legislation." The Bernard family also reacting, telling us they're disappointed the bill was killed by hospital special interests, but hopeful it will eventually pass, saying if these hospitals won't do it voluntarily, there must be laws to protect all families from this predictable and preventable destruction.
This is not a partisan issue. This is a life safety issue.
And former Austin Council member Mackenzie Kelly, who initiated a citywide ordinance requiring crash-tested bollards at new hospitals following our investigation, said Austin led the way by acting before tragedy struck again, and I firmly believe this idea's time will come at the statewide level, a sentiment echoed by patient advocates.
I have to credit you, Matt, and your team at KXAN for doing the deep dive, for digging into the data. I think you've built the best data set in the country right now. So it definitely informed the debate here in Texas. And I wouldn't be surprised if it informs the debate all around the country as hospitals evaluate how they are protecting folks inside of their emergency rooms.
The chair of the House Public Health Committee, Representative Gary Van Dever, gave the bill a hearing but did not bring it up again for a vote, allowing it to die. Both he and the Texas Hospital Association did not respond to our request for comment. We'll update you with any responses we receive in this story in the investigative section of KXAN.com. At the Capitol, Matt Grant, KXAN Investigates.
Matt, thank you so much. The bill was supported by the Texas Nurses Association. St. David's, which is challenging a $1 million lawsuit for not having bollards at the time of the crash we mentioned, declined to comment.
The hospital system previously said it installed $500,000 worth of bollards at its Austin area hospitals after the deadly ER crash, but repeatedly they refused to say if they are crash rated. Now, catch up on our complete coverage by clicking the Preventing Disaster button in the investigative section of KXAN.com.